What's up, guys? This is Scott, and today we're checking out an amazing backyard. This is Christy, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Christy Reed. I'm with Sapphire Skies Farm, and we moved here about 1.5 years ago, and it was kind of like a barren wasteland of clay soil, and we've been working really hard to build up our soil and our nutrients, and we are straw bale gardeners, is what we've really done a lot of, and we're working on building up our food forest, and so we started here, and we're going to be working our way up throughout the whole property as we grow as a family. I'm a family of 6, and
Hey, right on. Well, she's going to take us through. We're going to tour her yard, and we'll be featuring some different vegetables and fruits that she's cultivating. All right, so we're checking out this part of her garden, and she's employing a strategy of, what'd you call it?
it's a Three Sisters garden. So what it is it's corn, green beans, and usually squashes, but I'm using a lot of squashes and melons this year to grow together. So what happens is your corn stalks, they grow up, and they have really thick roots so the gophers can't get in. And by the time that they're established about 4 to 6 inches tall, you can plant green beans, and the green beans grow up the stalks of the corn stalks. And what the green beans do to assist the rest of the family is that they bring nitrogen in from the air and bring it back down into the soil. And then once those are a little bit bigger grown, you start adding your squashes and your melons. And the squashes start to trail out and create like a natural mulch. And also, if you've got the squashes in, which is really important, I think, they're kind of like prickly, and the raccoons come in and they will find that they don't want to come into the Three Sisters garden because it hurts their paws. So it protects your corn. So, and then we've actually added in a 4th element. We bring in the pollinators, or the pollen attractors, by bringing in different flowers. So these are black-eyed Susans. I've tried different things different years. Whatever I use, it just matters that I bring in something to bring in the pollinators.
Right. And I like how, your farming strategy, takes into consideration pests, because you don't want to do a whole bunch of work and then have the critters run off with your loot,
Which I have learned the hard way on.
Yeah, right? I think everyone has.
One thing that I've really been working on since we moved onto this property is I'm actually using 0 pesticides, 0 herbicides. Everything is natural.
Right.
So I've brought in frogs, made homes for lizards, brought in cats.
Right.
The ducks, the chickens, the turkeys, they all work together to help the whole farm. And it's really been a really miraculous thing to see how it works, bringing in help instead of trying to kill everything.
Like true permaculture.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's check out some veggies. We're gonna go check out some tomatoes.
This is the upstate ox heart tomato. They kind of have a heart shape to them. They're a paste tomato, so I use them a lot when I'm canning up sauces like tomato sauce or paste.
Yeah, that was good for sandwiches, but...
I mean, it was still really tasty. We did use one this year for the sandwich to try it out, but because it's got so much meat,
right,
it's just got a lot more interest in our farm for making spaghetti sauce.
Yeah. This one over here is impressive too. What was this? Look at this thing.
This is the Armenian yard-long cucumber.
That thing's insane.
So they can get to be the full yard long, but what am I gonna do with 3 feet of cucumber? So I usually pick them about this size or smaller.
What do they taste like? Do they taste like a traditional cucumber?
Yeah, it's a really crunchy cucumber.
Okay. They good for pickling too? Have you tried that?
I actually haven't tried this one for pickling.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got so many pickling cucumbers, I haven't really had the need for it, but...
Yeah, I noticed you have several varieties of tomatoes. How many different types of tomatoes do you grow?
We have about 30 different varieties of tomato this year. This one right here is the Mandarin Moon. It's actually this color when it's ripe.
Oh, wow.
Resembling the moon.
That is really cool. Excellent. I'm gonna try that out. Boom. Very juicy. Oh, it's good. It's kind of got a little acidity to it. Mm-hmm. Very pleasant. I've never had one of those. That's good.
This is a lemon cucumber, and when they're ripe, they're a ball shape and they turn a little bit yellow. And then right behind it is a cucamelon.
Cucamelon.
And there's none ripe yet right now, but we've got like the little babies on here, and they will look like little tiny watermelons, but they're in the cucumber family.
Do they taste like cucumbers?
They're also known as Mexican sour jerkin.
Oh, okay.
So they've got like a little
tart to it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah.
And then planted between the two, I have peanuts growing behind my brassica here. And the peanuts are also the legume family that will bring in the nitrogen from the soil.
Nice.
By the time these are all done, the peanuts will just start sending down their little runners into the ground to put the peanuts into the ground.
And kind of aerates the soil too.
Yeah.
That's good. Look at all these plants working together.
So one reason why I have straw bales at different stages is because I really like to have my cucumbers and strawberries and tomatoes all in first year bales because they are fresh. They have no bacteria from last year's powdery mildew or any...
They're sterile almost.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have gnats or any kind of bugs living in that soil. And so it's fresh, fertile soil as I'm breaking down that bale. See, I'll break it back so you can see that it's really turning into soil in there. Wow. So it's basically a compost pile breaking down over time while the plants are growing into it. All right, so here we have artichoke. And artichoke, as we all know, is a flower, and it will grow back year after year. So I actually planted this one in a second year straw bale because I wanted it to be better than the clay soil that's underneath it. But I didn't want to have to get rid of it year after year. So it's planted really close to the ground. And then right next to it is actually soybeans, edamame, and they are in the legume family.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, they are one of those plants that brings the nitrogen in from the air down into the soil. And so it really benefits the artichoke having it nitrogen between two artichokes. So the two artichokes aren't fighting each other for the nutrients. We got someone in the middle.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's helping to supply the two.
Okay.
And another reason why we did artichoke with the edamame in between is because artichoke can get to be 6 feet wide when it's biggest, where the edamame won't be here anymore once the artichoke is big. So I'm trying to use the space that I have here while it's here.
Okay, that makes sense.
And soybeans are actually kind of cool. You plant all of them, but you harvest all of them off the plant at once. And so these are all really close to being ready to go. And so all of these will just come right out as this artichoke is starting to get much larger.
All right, well, this is Christy's orchard area, but we can't really go in because she has some killer geese, apparently, right?
Not killer, but maybe attack geese, yeah.
Aggressive geese? They'll really go after you if you go in there?
Definitely, when it's time to move them into their bed at night, I bring a stick just to, keep my distance. Yeah. So they actually go nuts weeds? Over dandelion.
Ooh,
look at him.
Yeah.
He heard me pulling it up. He knows.
Their feathers are curly. Hee hee. Oh.
So we're gonna check out your birds. You brought them a little treat here. What do we have?
I just brought up some kale. So kale, it's not really the season for kale since it's so hot. It gets a little bit bitter, but the animals don't mind it.
Yeah, I gotta use it, right?
And I grabbed a little basil just in case they're into some flavors, seasonings.
These are some spoiled birds.
And then we grabbed them some cherry tomatoes. I just drop them here. And then they come in.
Get that tomato.
Ooh, who's that
we will
bad
process
boy?
them. That is our rooster. So he's only about 9 weeks old, and he started crowing already.
Wow, look at him go.
So they're a broiler breed. So they could be dual purpose. So if we kept the hens, they could lay eggs for us. But because of the type of chicken that they are, they get really large in their breast area.
Okay.
You know that stuff you buy at the grocery store, those big old hunks of
Makes
meat?
them good for the dinner plate.
These are the types. So your traditional chickens that most people have as backyard chickens, they're not very meaty in the breast area, but they're really lame looking when you process a rooster of a egg breed versus a rooster of a meat breed.
Makes sense.
They don't really look the same on the dinner plate. So we definitely have the egg layers for their purpose and then the meat chickens for their purpose.
Yeah, it was interesting. You were saying that how do you actually, process the chickens when you're gonna take them out? You hang them upside down to start with, you're saying, and then
Yeah, actually, so we've done this for many years, so we've kind of learned as we've gone, and we found that if you hang the chicken upside down from its feet, all the blood rushes to their head and they kind of pass out.
Okay.
And that's like when they're the most mellow. So
Right.
if ever I have to move a bird, that's really the way that I do it. It looks really crazy when I'm doing it. My kids think I'm abusing the bird, but
Yeah. You're trying to
they
be humane.
calm down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're like grabbing a bird under your arm, they're gonna freak out because they're just feeling so constricted. But
Yeah, I mean, there's a side of farming that sometimes is a little bit hard to do, but you got to do it.
yeah, in fact, our babies got out a few weeks ago, and they were running all over the yard. And we're pretty sure a raccoon opened the cage, so now we double, triple enforced this thing, you know. So yeah, I was carrying a couple of birds in each hand upside down, and my kids were like, "Mom, leave them alone! What are you doing?" And really, it's like the way that they are most calm, and by the time I put them in there, they just gently go into the cage. So, and then we also have the goats, and we make our own cheese from our goats. now.
And you milk the goat
Yeah.
yourself too?
Yeah, we milk the goat every morning and every evening.
Are you making soap too as well with the?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So my actual cash crop, so to speak, is my loofah plants. So on top of selling like loofah for using in the shower or in the kitchen sink, we also sell the loofah soaps,
Okay.
and we use the goat milk.
Yeah, we'll be
the
going up
soaps.
and checking out the loofah at the end here, but you were saying you actually like put the loofah in the soap, correct?
So we'll cut it to about 1 inch thick, and then pour the soap into it in a mold, and then
Are you doing just goat milk soap or?
yeah, like I'll add some rose hips and rose clay and some lavender.
Nice,
to really
nice.
bring like some beautiful scents in with it. But
Let's feed some goats.
so this is like their junk food, but they love it.
Oh man, they love those.
So the baby has to be fed at the same time, or the mom will come and take all the treats out of my hand instead.
All right, so here's where we have the loofah vines, which are just producing mega amounts. I don't know much about loofah. I know that they use it, like you said, in the soap, but can you eat loofah? Or
Yeah, when they're
is it-
really small and young, you can eat them.
What do they taste like?
Well, that would mean that I've actually tried them.
You haven't actually tried it, yeah.
Because these are my cash crop, I
Right.
really want to grow them and make them nice and big.
So the idea is you let them get big, and then do they start to deteriorate on the vine, and then
I wouldn't call it deteriorate. They
Okay.
dry out on the
Dry
vine.
out, okay.
So let's see here. Go ahead and feel how heavy that is.
Okay.
So feel how heavy that is. So
Yeah.
when it becomes light, then I know it's ready to harvest it.
Okay.
I found last year that if I let them get all the way brown on the vine, then they're like a little bit too brown in the skin inside.
Okay.
So they might have like a small amount of brown by the time I pick them, but what I really want to do is just have them be really light, where this is like,
And then how do you process them at that point? Are you using the whole thing? Or are you taking the skin off? Or
yeah, so I take them off and then we peel the skin off, and there's like 7 billion seeds inside. I'll take a whole loofah like this. I'll chop off this end here, and that makes a great soap. And then we get like 1, 2, 3 bath loofahs out of it. And then
Okay.
this part here is really great for scrubbing your dishes.
Oh yeah. There you go.
So we try to use the whole thing, and then any of the peel that we have left over, we compost that all back down, and then we use it to feed the soil.
That's excellent. How old is this vine?
This one we planted last year,
Okay.
and from what I had heard, they wouldn't live over winter.
But they did all right.
They certainly did. I mean, we're in San Diego,
Yeah, it
and
might
so
be warm enough, right?
our weather is nice and warm. I only had one night that was like a full freeze, and so I did think it was going to be a goner, but it came back and it's thriving. I had 6 here last year, so 4 of them did die. 2 of them lived.
Yeah, it looks like they're thriving. I mean, this is massive. And then you also said you had some grapes intermingled.
Yeah, so because this is like right on the street, I wanted to make sure this all filled out. I wasn't really sure how loofah would do since last year was my first year. So we actually started with grapes in this area and then decided to put the loofahs in later. And they've actually worked really well together. I'm not sure if they're companion plants or not, but they've really done well being together. So we let them stay together again this year. If for some reason one of them wouldn't have done well, I probably wouldn't have left them together.
They seem pretty harmonious for the most part,
Yeah,
right?
they're working great.
Yeah, that's kind of like what you got going on. You got a lot of plants helping each other and intermingling. I don't know, you seem to have, your yards is successful. You're having a lot of success with
Oh yeah, but there's also lots of failures.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's how we learn.
That's
if
true.
we don't
that's
fail,
true.
we don't grow.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for giving us a tour of your yard. Did you want to plug anything, like an Instagram, or did you have like a website that you want to put you on the spot
I mean,
with?
I do have a YouTube channel.
Okay, what's your YouTube channel?
Sapphire Skies Farm.
Okay, Sapphire Skies Farm. Okay, excellent. Give her a subscribe and check it out. She's got a whole bunch going on, so thanks.